Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Access Long Hair TV. Now, tonight I have a great show for you, but before we talk about that, hi Randy.
Hello everyone.
Well, here we are in Melbourne. We've come to Melbourne to see a friend of mine who I've got a funny feeling has just walked past me.
There might be mischief happening behind
There
you.
might be mischief happening behind me, I'm not sure. David Badal, a 3 times Olivier winner in the United Kingdom, has flown all the way out here to do Rocky Horror, the picture show, the 50th anniversary. So we're flown over from New Zealand to Melbourne to make sure that we catch one of our closest friends in this amazing show. So David is hanging around here somewhere. And anyway, tonight's show, let me just tell you a little bit about tonight's show. Tonight's show, we have an amazing hairstyle for you. This is a braid. Now, it looks incredibly complicated, as you can see here. Look, there's the picture. This is what we're going to do. It looks incredibly complicated, but I promise you, it's really, really simple. Simple steps, put it all together, and there's your braid. I love things that have the wow factor, and this hairstyle definitely has that. So, Randy, have you got anything to say?
No. Loving Melbourne, loving Melbourne. I think the silliness that's happening behind you might be repeating itself.
This is David, everybody. And if you're here in Australia, particularly if you're here in Melbourne, David's on tour. He's going to go to Perth. Where are you off to, David? You're going to Perth?
Perth, Gold Coast, Canberra.
And Canberra. And he's here, but of course he's got a couple of weeks here, residency here in Melbourne. Again, as I say,
Frank.
he plays Frankenfurter. He's amazing, absolutely incredible.
How to do it?
So if you are here in Australia, please make sure you catch him. He is incredible. And of course, as I said earlier on, it's the 50th anniversary of this amazing show. It's just a lot of fun. As I always say to people, it's the most fun you can have with your clothes on, I'm sure. Hey guys, here's our hairstyle. Let's have a look at this beautiful step-by-step look. This hairstyle is a beautiful braided look. It looks incredibly complicated, but of course, like many of my hairstyles, it's not. We're going to start off with a center parting right down through the middle like this. And then once we have that, I'm just going to come to the very front area and I'm going to take away some hair. Now I'm going to go back roughly about 2 centimeters back from the hairline. So just 2 centimeters back all the way down to the ear. Let's just tuck that out of the way. And we're going to repeat the same on the opposite side. Again, as I say, this is a very simple hairstyle and we're going to use these front pieces a little bit later on as decoration. Okay, let's get started on the rest. There's our foundation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to braid the hair over on the side. Now this is a very, very simple braid. This is a 3-strand braid. Many of you know how to do this. Just a basic French braid. And I'm going to start over on the, let's start on the right hand side. It doesn't really matter what side you start on at all. Okay, so I'm going to come into the top area here. I'm going to take my first section. I'm going to brush it back. And then I'm going to divide it into 3. There we go. Now I'm going to start by just starting. I can start from the back or the front, whichever way I want to go over. I'm going to go over and then I'm going to go back over again. You can see here now as I'm doing this, it's just your basic 3-strand braid. Let me see if I can just get my fingers out of the way a little bit. You know, sometimes it's quite hard to see when I'm filming because, of course, I'm trying to make sure that you can see it. And sometimes when you can see it, I don't always see it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just take that and I'm going to braid that all the way down to the neck. If you can, try and keep it nice and firm and as clean as you can keep it. But the most important thing is we're braiding it behind the head. So we're bringing it down behind the head. There we go. I've just sped it up a little bit so you can see. And you can see I use my thumb. Each time I'm braiding, my thumb really holds the tension beautifully. And that's the most important thing. Really, it's your thumb that does all the hard work. Your fingers from left and right just pull the hair in, but it's your thumb that holds the tension. Now, as I'm braiding, I always make sure that I bring the braid around the curvature of the head. So I don't braid out. I try and keep the braid as flat to the head as possible. There we go. There's our first braid. Let's do the second braid as if by magic. There you go. There are our 2 braids. Now I'm going to place some flowers underneath. You can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to do this at all. I'm going to crisscross the 2 braids over. I will secure the 2 braids together by adding a hair grip there underneath, just joining the 2 braids together. And then I'm going to take the tails and wrap those around the flowers. But again, as I say, you don't have to do this. You can do whatever you want to do. Perhaps you may even want to leave the back of the hair down. Okay, here's my little topsy tail, my little hair tool that we're going to use. This is dead simple. Just go to the top, go to the very top. We're going to slice out a piece of hair from the very front, and we're going to pull that back. There we go. I'll start that off. Pull it through the little loop, and then just pull that right back. There it is, and pull it back. It's that easy. Now what I do, as I'm working, I go all the way down piece by piece. So I go through each piece of the braid and I add a little piece from the front and I drag that through. This is what's going to form the decoration a little bit later on. Now as you can see here, I'm just pulling it through. It's very, very simple. I'll go quite fast now. You can sort of see the idea. You can use a little bit of cream on your hands, a little bit of cream just to, make sure that there are no flyaway pieces. Or indeed you can leave pieces out, whatever you want to do. There we go. There are our sections. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of hairspray on them, just a tiny bit, just to individualize them. Having got that side, let's go to the opposite side and do exactly the same. There we go. Exactly the same. Now, I want all of these pieces left in the middle. So as I'm coming down there now, I just come right down to the ear and we'll take them all in. There they are. I love this. This is such an easy idea. I mean, what we've just done, is nice and simple. It's just really effective. Now what I'm going to do, I'll give them a little bit of a spray again, just to individualize the pieces, making sure that we've got all the pieces separate. I only use a very little amount of spray and quite a light spray. Now what you're going to do is you're now going to take each piece and you're going to take the piece from the left over to the right, piece from the right over to the left. And we're just going to keep on crisscrossing them. Look at that. So I'm just going from the left over to the right and then the right over to the left. It really is that simple. And there we go. There they all are. I love that. Oh, one fell down, but that's all right. We'll get it back up again. I love that. Look at that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to start by twisting the hair. And as I'm twisting, I'm going to twist it under and I'm going to add each tail in as I go. And I bring this right down to the bottom. And I do the same on the opposite side. I twist it going under towards the head and I keep on adding all the tails in as I go. Once we've got that there, we then just start to manipulate the twists around a little bit and we make sure that the pattern looks nice. Here we go. If I turn around, look at that. It's so cool. I told you this was easy. It looked much more complicated, didn't it? But really, in reality, it's quite simple. I think the hardest part of this hairstyle is just getting that braid, the braid going down the middle, because some people braid very well, other people really struggle with it, don't they? Now with the tails, I'm just going to add the tails in and, just use them as decoration. Again, you can do whatever you want to do with these, and that's totally up to you. What we've got now is a concept of a hairstyle that looks complicated, but really in reality, it's not. It's all about having a fantastic foundation. Here we go. Here's our hairstyle, all finished and ready to show you. Just manipulate any of the hair around. I just sort of try and make sure that it all looks nice. So I'm never frightened of pulling at it once it's done. And here we go. There's our beautiful hairstyle. I love this look. And this is a great look to add into your collection. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed the show. You know what? And the hairstyle again, as I say, is just magic, absolutely magic. I did walk away from the din of what was going on, but they've come back into camera again and they are there. So I'm going to go off and have a little bit of mischief with these guys because they're absolutely amazing. So to all of you out there, join me next week for Access Long Hair Live. And we'll be live next week, won't we, Randy?
Yes,
we'll be back in the studio next week with another beautiful hairstyle. So
And
guys,
and we're clearing.
there he is, there he goes, the actor. That is David Badella. Hey guys, lots and lots of love, and I'll see you real soon.